she's wanting to sit and she's not going to be able. My oldest son called it a chupacabra. And I looked up chupacabra because that sounded scary, and it was scary. And it was down here, and it was lost in here, and it was wanting to get my chickens, and they were screaming, and the dogs were screaming, and so. Well, for some reason, the ducks and the chickens are not getting along anymore. And so we've got some movement going around the farm this week. You can see they sure are loving their shade. I tell you what, they think this is just wonderful. They keep all the leaves off of the brambles in the bottom, and which is what I like, because I don't like snaky anything. And I pulled some leaves off of this thing. I don't know what this is, but I tell you what, the bees love it, and so do they. They love it, love it, love it. And put it in their water. Moved the ducks over to where the potatoes were, the male ducks, because the young male duck, I've got two males now, the young male, who doesn't have a name yet, I don't know, he wants to do nothing but chase the girls around. And it just drove me crazy that poor old Jesus had to be in that little tiny pen as big as he is. I couldn't stand it anymore. So I'm going to have to decide what I'm going to do, but they've been out for the past 2 nights and they've got to live through it. So I guess it must be okay for them to be out here, but I've got to build them a little house so that whenever it rains and nighttime and stuff like that, they're a little bit more protected. You know, they love eating leaves. They really love eating leaves when they're in water. There's something about them getting wet. I guess they get a little bit softer or something in the water, but they sure do like eating them once they're wet. And they've come down here. Oh, I tell you what, we had they called it, my oldest son called it a chupacabra. And I looked up chupacabra because that sounded scary, and it was scary. And it was down here, and it was lost in here, and it was wanting to get my chickens, and they were screaming, and the dogs were screaming, and so I had to come down here and take care of the situation. And it was kind of scary, I'll tell you that. It was kind of scary. It was wanting my chickens, but it was diseased, really bad disease. So I called the game warden after I got finished with my little dirty deed that I had to do that just drove me crazy. I don't like killing animals at all, but when they're inside my fence and they're after my chickens, nothing gets to live through that. It just doesn't get to. So I called the game warden and told him. He says, yeah, that thing was diseased and it was in pain and it was not healthy at all. So you really did it a favor, and it made me feel a lot better. And so I tell you what though, the chickens love this cover back here. See, they've got all kinds of cover. I'll put it down here at their level. They've got all kinds of cover down here. They're all over the place in there. You just can't see them. And they like it, and I like it, because they're in here. They've found them a place to do some dirt bathing. You can see there one, and you can see there's one. Oh yeah, they are digging it back here. And this is mainly where the babies stay, where the last set of babies that I got stay. They love it back here in this wild. They can, there's a lot of stuff they can eat. I had thrown some scratch out here, and I think that right there is some of the stuff that maybe they didn't eat that they have now, and they can eat it. There's a lot of stuff out here for them to eat. You see things rustling here and there where they're just eating the little seeds, and they're eating the leaves, and they're just really, really enjoying themselves back here. And look, even Jesus has things back here he can eat. He loves eating the grass. Look at that. He didn't get any of that when he was inside in that little cage. Oh, I'm so happy he gets to be outside. You know, even if something gets him at night outside, at least he's got a good life now. He's got plenty of food, and he's got plenty of area to walk around in, and he can be a duck again. I gave them their own, look at them, the girls are right there, they're like, can we go in, please? I'm like, no, you can't, because all it would take is for you three to go in there, and those two would just not leave you alone. If you're not laying eggs now, you would be then. And I don't need 50 million Muscovy ducks. I just don't. And Jesus has that angel wing, and you can tell his son has it, and this girl down here has it. She's got a double. She's got it on both sides. The other two are just fine. It's even, Jesus and his son even actually have the same wing that's got an angel wing on it. They sure do like playing in this little pond area thingy, whatever it is. Even the chickens like getting in there and getting their feet all muddy. They take mud baths for their feet. Isn't that cool? And oh, Hazel, you know, Hazel wants to, always wants to be sitting on eggs. She didn't have any eggs of her own because I pulled them every day because I did not want baby ducks anymore. And so, and she'll come out here and she'll just be mean to the chickens or anything in her way. When she comes out and she's looking for a drink, well, she's probably going to poop really hard right now. When she comes out looking for a drink of water and wanting to take a bath, she wants everybody out of her way. And I mean, she will just yank off their tail and chase them until they get out of her way. She's just a mean little thing. Or she can be. She's not always mean. I sure do love her. So this morning I have been redoing nest boxes again, and got several girls in here laying eggs, and let's see, I just got one in here. I know I had one girl in here when I was putting the straw in. Just put this egg back in here for her, and then somebody else will see it and they'll come lay. And then this girl on the left here, she's a Easter egger. One of the last ones that I got that's laying, not the babies, but the next last. I think she was born in May. Maybe March. She was born in March. I tell you what, she didn't want to get up. I think she's wanting to sit, and she's not going to be able to sit. I'm going to let her. And her and a couple of the other ones were fighting over that one spot. So I had two girls in there, and I didn't put any hay down in there or straw. I put it in all the rest of them. But you know, it's all fighting. And so the first thing they do is when I open the bale, is they get it all over the floor. But I went ahead and cleaned the floor up right here first before I did that, so that it didn't really matter. I've got to clean this floor anyway. So the actual real reason that I started all this movement of the turkeys, or excuse me, of the ducks and the chickens, and getting the chickens nest boxes all new and fresh, was because these babies are outgrowing their space. I've already moved the white ones, and you can see how much room 5 of those, and I had 4 more in there. I mean, they are just growing leaps and bounds. So it's time for them to come out of this one. And I cleaned up this one where Jesus was for the white ones. See how dirty they are? That's because they were all in that little bitty space and they couldn't move, and the water was just getting all over them. So I went ahead and cleaned Jesus's pen out for them. And I moved the girls. Well, I haven't moved them yet. She's frozen in time. She's just sitting right there. She's been sitting there for a couple hours. I'm not sure. She might have something wrong with her. She's an older girl. She might be just about ready to leave this world. I've had a couple of them that have already. They don't live long. I mean, these have been really, really good layers. I mean, every day you see them in there laying. These are sapphire gem splashes is what these are. And so here in a minute I was going to let her sit there for a little while, Here in a minute I'll go ahead and pull all that out of there and put some new fresh straw in there and put the brown ones on this side. Because even if I put the brown, that's even too small for the brown ones in them. So I'm going to put the white ones in there and the brown ones in here. And Turkey, I tell you what, old Petey, he doesn't know what to think. He has been hearing babies in the other room for a good month or so, and whenever they start talking because they're hungry, boy, he just kind of gets all red and walks back and forth and back and forth and back and forth to see what's going on. He's like, "What is that, Mama?" "Well, I hear something. I think it's a turkey, but I can't see it. I can hear it." And he doesn't call it back or anything. He's just listening and paying attention. Look how big he's getting. I mean, he's getting huge. And so whenever I moved the ones from in there to in here, these here were going beep, 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 beep. And the ones in there was going beep, 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 beep. And these were going beep, 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 beep. And he was going, "What is all this? Oh my gosh, stop." He said, "No, we don't need turkeys everywhere. We just want them in one spot, and I need to be able to see them all." Yeah, that's what. I sure do love him. Sometimes he lets me pet him, but he doesn't let me touch his head. He only lets me touch his feathers. I'm going to have to clean his cage out next. And I finally figured out what the problem was with those last white turkeys. I've got another one just like it, spraddle-legged. You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's broad-breasted turkeys. Broad-breasted turkeys eat too much, get too fat for their legs to be able to handle it, and so they just cannot get up and their legs spraddle out. And there's nothing you can do for them after they get that big, because they and it was just a week ago that happened to it, or less. And what happens is you have to keep these turkeys on a diet, or they will eat themselves into oblivion, because they were born hungry, and they'll eat until they just can't move, or they die. One or the other. They'll have a heart attack and die. So unfortunately, it took me losing 3 white turkeys and almost another one before I finally figured it out. And I asked Myers Hatchery, "Are all broad-breasted turkeys ones that you have to eat?" And they said yes, because they just can't. It's like you have to give them a starvation diet, and I can't starve anything to death. You know, I mean, I know it's for their best interest. I haven't put their feed in here yet, just because of that, because I don't want them to, eat themselves to death or not be able to walk. They're already trying to sit down. So ever since I figured out that other one, I haven't been feeding these as much. I'm gonna make them work for it. So I won't have any place for the chickens anymore, and I'll have turkeys over here instead of ducks. Which is fine. I needed to do something with those ducks anyway. Look how beautiful she is, just sitting there waiting to have an egg. Isn't she beautiful? These are the first ones. These are called green eggers, I think is what they're called. And these are the first ones I've ever had that had yellow ears. I think that's really stunning. Little pop of yellow right there on their face. So it's time for me to get back busy again. I've got my tools out, and I've got my, let's see. I usually fill this little thing right here up. And there's Hazel back. She's got 2 eggs she's been sitting on. I hate to tell her, but I don't think they're going to make it, because she don't sit on them long. They're not duck eggs, and duck eggs and chicken eggs are totally different. It may take her a long time. I don't know, but right here is where I threw all that stuff I took out of the turkey's pen, or out of the duck's pen. So I don't know, we'll see what they do with that. So you guys have a wonderful day, and I'm going to get back to it and get some sweating going on, and oh, it's just so beautiful out here. I don't even mind sweating. You know, it's just a perfectly beautiful day, and I get to be with my animals, and I don't have any meanness going on in my house or anything to worry about right now. I can just come out here and just watch my animals, and oh, life is so good. Life is so, so good. If you don't mind helping out my channel, if you haven't subscribed and you're still listening, maybe you liked it, and maybe you could hit that subscribe button and that like button and get me up there in the algorithm, and I'll appreciate it. Me and Renfro say bye-bye for now.